It's still January 13th. January 13th. My hair. I had to do my hair curly today because I went for a morning walk, and cause I didn't get a chance to go outside yesterday, and so I really wanted to do that, and then I had made plans with my cousin and I forgot that I had clients today, because I usually don't. Now that I'm getting ready to adjust to school starting next week, I started spreading out my clients during the week, so I don't really, I think I might have only one day really off, but I work all the other days, certain blocks of time, and I start school next week. And so they were working, and I didn't know they were working this morning, and I was like, oh, well, you want me to go swing by your job and I'll pick you up, because I told them, I'm like, I'm craving Chinese food. And then they sent me a text, how about dim sum? I'm like, I've never had dim sum before. So I was really excited. So I went to this place. I'm like, oh, so good. So good. It was delicious. Like, it's so good. It's so good. It was really cool. We went and we just caught up because we hadn't connected from before the holidays, and it was so good. It was so good. So anyways, so that, I think that's gonna be my special treat, to go have dim sum, because it's fucking delicious. So we caught up and then walked back, and it was really cool because they're telling me about like what their plans are, and going back to school, and I'm so excited for them so much. And so I happened to tell them about the North Node class, and just the pattern this whole week, actually, with my clients, for most of my, not most, but like the clients that are ready for it. I've been sharing with them where their North Node is, and the energy, and it's been making sense for them because they're ready for it, right? And so it was just an interesting pattern that I noticed this week, that that a lot of my clients are in that same boat, and that they were ready to hear the message, and or at least because it could be scary, right? If it's and the South Node is just what you're naturally gifted with, and then the North Node is what you're here to embrace. And if there's an element of it being karmic, because it's a challenge, right? Or an opportunity, how you choose to view it. But it was really neat to kind of see it unfold in front of my clients, and using that as a tool to help them feel more aligned, and it yeah, like you could feel it. It's so neat. And the same thing with my cousin, because I was showing them certain parts. So anyways, I thought that was really cool. That was the theme for the week, I guess. Finding people's purpose, helping people find their purpose. And they were ready for it. The people that I shared it with, like, they were just ready for it. They were ready to hear it, and they could see it now that they're in their own journey, right? They have to be a certain part in their journey to see it as a potential future for them. Because I remember I was sharing with my cousin again my story of how I got my degree, and telling them, like, this was far from what I wanted. I did not plan to be a therapist. Like, that wasn't, I wanted to be a teacher. And but even being a teacher was hard for me. Like, I remember I loved just being a learner. I remember when I was training to be a teacher, it was challenging to be in front of a classroom, but I pushed through it because that's what I wanted to do. Even though my mom would tell me, she's like, how can you do that? You don't even like kids. You don't even like kids. So she said to me, because I didn't play with dolls growing up. And so, so it's just funny how things turn. So I wasn't ready for it. Like, I pushed myself through it because I had to. and I even reminded my cousin, I'm like, I completed the degree still not with an emphasis, because we had the ability to pick concentrations at SC at the time, and still can, because a lot of Cal States, for social work, it was only macro or micro. Macro being more like political science or big macro stuff like organizations, and micro was more one-on-one support at therapy or case management or whatever. And for me, I'm like, I don't want to do either. So I picked health because I figured, well, I'm already in it. It was the most uncomfortable 3 years of my life, but they were also the 3 years where I grew the most. And because I pushed myself through it, I was uncomfortable, and I purposely put myself in uncomfortable situations. So when I had to pick where I wanted to do my internship, one of the things that always popped in my head that I always feared was hospital settings. So that's why I chose the concentration of health to encompass the whole person. And I wanted to do my internship in a hospital. Great experience. And I think that was the placement where I grew the most, because it really challenged me, really challenged my perception of doctors and their our perspective of them being an authority, and having to talk to doctors depending on the cases. It was a big wow. And I was grateful to have been done with it, only to come out of it still having to, be in mental health. And then I took a break when I had my depressive episode and took medical leave and got my own treatment after 4 years. And then when I moved away and took a less stressful job still in mental health, it was different. It was different. And then I just stayed there. I stayed there. But I moved in different programs. So I got a range of experiences. And they were challenging experiences. No one else wanted to do them. So I'm like, I'll do it. Or when it was offered to me, presented to me, they would tell me, think about it. And then I do it because I knew I was going to do it. I always push myself through it. So anyways, so it's funny. We were just talking about it. And it seems like they're really aligned with this, like they're excited. So that was, and then to see the validation, it was like, oh, okay, yeah. So I just caught them up with the dreams, and and then they asked me, I just told them, I'm on this high. I'm on this natural high. And I'm like, I know it's still potential energy, but. And then they asked me, are you gonna wait? And I'm like, until my dream tells me otherwise, yeah, I am. And it's still even realizing, right? It's a complete stranger. It's still a complete stranger that I'm waiting for, but that's where my heart is. So until that changes, that's what I'll be. And then I told them, I'm like, plus, I'm not even really gonna have the opportunity for relationships. I mean, my hours are increasing at work. I'm taking 2 courses for the semester. And on top of that, I'm trying to use my free time to do my notes, which I tend to lag it, and to try to put this freaking side business, get that started and figure out, because I have no idea how to do that. And I know I need the little steps, right? I think I just need the little once I overcome that first hurdle, I'll be okay. So, but I have a goal. I did my whiteboard. I changed up my whiteboard. That was hard to change my whiteboard, because I hadn't touched it since last year when everything first went down, and I took a picture of it. I took a picture of it. But I like this one. I even drew a picture of the lighthouse on there. It's just, it looks really neat. I saw it again today when I went for a walk. I'm like, looks really neat. It looks really neat. Yeah, so that's all. I just wanted to highlight the pattern, I guess, this week in what unfolded in my interactions with other people. Dreams was also a common theme. Sleep was a common theme. And then that dream, I'm thinking about that dream too, about where I'm in England, or I wonder, because I did want to take a Charlie Morley's course, but it's in England. Or potentially, I mean, I don't know. So anyways, that's all. I just want to highlight that. Another crazy thing, my mom has COVID, and my aunts have COVID. The aunt that I was worried about has COVID. I just found out this, or I need to call them. And my sister sent me a text, and I was just like, whoa, like, they have COVID. But I had dreamt of my mom, so I know, like, my mom's gonna be fine. But my sister is really anxious, and so she's not coping with it very well, and then she's like, and don't even try to talk about your dreams right now, because I had mentioned it to her that one of the dreams that I had something to do with one of my aunts, and it didn't I don't know what happens, but the impression that was left on me was not a good impression. Like, that something happens to her, and she's like, don't even say it, this isn't it. I'm like, I didn't say anything. but then I know it's being mean, because a lot of people have passed with COVID, and it's impacted people's lives, and it's heartbreaking, right, for a lot of families. Sometimes I can be a little inappropriate. I sent her. So there's this person on Instagram, when I'm able to get on it, right? He's called Bakul something, but he basically mimics moms, and he puts on like wigs and stuff, and he's mimicking moms, Hispanic moms, and how they talk. And my sister introduced me to him, and I was busting out laughing because it sounds like my mom. And so there's one where Bakul's like going downstairs, he's like with a mask on, and he's just like, oh, but you said you had COVID already, and you were fine, huh? And now you brought it into this house, and now you're sick again? What? Like, just really, like, it's funny to me, but I have to make light of the situation. But that's how it's just so inappropriate, I know, but it's too funny. It's too funny. It's like, I kind of said that to my sister, and then I put a text like, is it too early to joke about it? And she put back that emoji where it's like and then I realized after I did it, I was like, I kind of like pushing her buttons. Is that mean? So anyways, yeah. On another note, I don't know why it reminded me, my cousin came in and she saw my mess, but she saw the painting, and she's just like, is that the painting you actually, because I think I had only shown her on the phone, and she's like, is that the painting? I'm like, yeah. And she's just like, it looks even better in real life. She said, they said it looks even better in front. I was like, right? So I thought that was cool. I didn't realize that they hadn't seen it. They hadn't seen it yet. Like yeah. It is a really cool painting. It's really cool. Really cool. Okay, so I got work to do. Enough blabbing. That's all. Alright, bye. Hi, my name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us. In whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth, this just happens to be my journey. having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me.